Whenever you need to make a decision in life, be it choosing a career path, a job, or when you go through a personal crisis like a family bereavement, it's important to know yourself and to know what your real potential is. Your real potential can be realized when you find something you can do amazingly well with minimum effort on your part. To find your true calling, the path that can help you realize your potential, it's important to get to know yourself very well, or as Carl Jung said, to go through the process of individuation. Individuation is a process of personality transformation, of bringing the subconscious parts of yourself into your personality.
Individuation is the process of personality transformation of bringing the subconscious parts of yourself into your personality. So in lesser words, acting out what your subconscious is maneuvering. Subconscious, left brain, emotions, feminine, habits, traits. Your conscious mind, right, masculine, logic, quick action, okay? And also, like when it comes to subjects too, your subconscious is involving with your reading comprehension, your reading skills, comprehension, understanding, your elusive thoughts, because your conscious mind is your elusive thoughts, right? That's more material, masculine. And your feminine is free-flowing, but your masculine is what is the anchor. The masculine man is the anchor to the feminine woman. So whenever she is having or has had an elusive day, she comes back to you and she is speaking with sorrow, guilt, hurt, resentment, jealousy towards, maybe some of her co-workers and whatnot, family members, whatever. And she's coming to you because you are the anchor to her emotions. You are the rock to her elusivity. Yeah.
Becoming a whole. Carl Jung was one of the founders of psychoanalysis, which is a set of psychological theories and methods aiming to release repressed emotions and experiences. He made huge contributions to the fields of psychiatry, anthropology, archaeology, literature, philosophy, psychology, and religious studies. Jung's philosophy is called Jungian philosophy, and some of his most important books are Psychology of the Unconscious, Man and His Symbols, The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious, Modern Man in Search of a Soul, The Psychology of the Transference, Memories, Dreams and Thoughts, and The Relations Between the Ego and the Unconscious. Jung's mentor was the famous psychologist 𝗬𝗪 Freud. However, he split from him, founding his own school of psychology called analytical psychology. Jung's mentor was the famous psychologist 𝗬𝗪 Freud. However, he split from him, founding his own school of psychology called analytical psychology. Analytical psychology focuses on the present as well as mythology, folklore, and cultural experiences with the purpose of integrating the human consciousness. One of the most important aspects of this analytical psychology which Jung founded is the process of individuation. Jung considers the process of finding the self and realizing your potential.
And that's what we learned in school. Some of us learned in school. The ego, or the id, the ego, and the self.
As an important task in human development. To help you understand how to use Jung's teachings to realize your full potential in life, today we bring you 8 lessons that you can learn from the philosophy of Carl Jung. Number 1. Don't let others define you. Jung said, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you." Jung departed from Freud in many ways. One way was that he didn't consider that all psychological diseases come from some childhood traumas, or that he was not for the concept of the superego, which for Freud represents the voice of conscience, the voice of other people inside ourselves. It's formed in childhood based on what parents and educators told us regarding what's good and what's bad, and who we should be. Jung believed that the internal voice which demands us to behave in one way or another can have many different causes, and isn't limited to biological ones or to past events from childhood or teenage years. Jung thought that our behavior is also influenced by future aspirations and by the way we see ourselves. When we don't have a realistic and positive outlook of ourselves and of our future, we're weaker, with less resistance to face the possible aggressions from other people or from the environment, and these can make us vulnerable to psychological diseases.
Yeah.
The world constantly demands us to be in one way or another, and sometimes it gets aggressive with us, testing our limits.
Which is something that I always test, and I test in front of y'all. Man, what Muse said earlier, not one size fits all. Because one size does not, for sure, right? Like, let's take those seat things that dudes put over their, they rooster to protect themselves from, right? Quote unquote protection. One size does not fit all. I know that, you know that, we collectively know that. Now, what I test in front of y'all so much is the both. Is the gray area. Test the both. Do the both. Have the both. Think the both. That's the rich, abundant, wealthy mindset. Now, here comes some resistance. What are you willing to let go in order to have? That's a deep question for you. What are you willing to let go in order to have? Think, see, feel. Be, do, have. That trinity, that cyclical effect. Yes, living in both while being rich, abundant, and wealthy. It's a great tool to have. It's a great skill. Until it becomes at your own expense and, of course, other people's expense. When you monitor it, when you monitor that both that's within you, you begin to fall. Because, remember this in school? Remember this? Right? We got A and B, and then we got AB in the middle. We got A and BS, and in the middle we got abs. So if we incorporate a lot of A and a lot of B, we will have and find the similarities that are encompassing the abs, right? So, it just interests me a lot. It just interests me a lot whenever I see people talk from one side. People only look from one side. So their back is against this corner, which is the B. Their back is against this corner. So all they see is the outward trajectory of A, not what's behind the wall. And they're not even curious to what's behind the wall because they think ignorance is bliss. From the B people, their back is against the A's wall. So they're looking at the projection of everything on B. You have yet to turn around, sir. That's like you having your blinker on and you only looking at a car or the lane that is perceived to be empty to the right of you. You're putting your right blinker on, you're getting over right. But bro, you have to look behind. That's why I call it a blind spot. You can also call it an ignorant spot. Or you fuck calling it a bald spot. Because something that you perceived as not being there is there. They're going to hit you. Somebody is in that lane. But you think because your back is against A or B, since somebody is not here right now on the side of me or in front of me, it's vacant. It's open. No. Wrong. Be able to think in A and B. That's what they're explaining. Or that's what I'm explaining, to have a higher level of perspective on what they're saying.
What we need to do is to diminish its voice and increase the voice of our own self. From the moment we're born, we're somehow forced to copy others, starting even before our school years.
Oh, yeah.
If your self is weak, then you'll listen to them.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
do whatever others demand you to do.
You definitely will.
However, in time, you will grow bitter, full of resentment and regrets that you didn't follow your own way of being.
And all because you listened to them. You listened to them. And in this token, the thems are not a reflection of you. I can't know me without you, and you can't know you without me. When you... oh, fuck! Oh, shit. Whoa. Real shit. Universe said, yeah, slow down. You got to connect it to him. Slow down. Trying to eat while talking, talk while eat. Slow down. You got to connect to the people. I'm good. Pardon me. I can't know you without me. And you can't know you without... No, I said it wrong. I can't know me without you, and you cannot know you without me. Whilst you are vibrating at a certain frequency, because if you are vibrating low and you are listening to these other yous that you think is in the place of you for now, they have your best vision in mind. They have your best intention in mind. You just don't know how to project that yet. 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, even 12th grade, right? You don't know how to project that. So you listen to them thinking because we are comrades, because we're teammates, because we are friends, acquaintances, because we're peers, they have your best interest. Wrong. And then that's when you become isolated in high school and you become a loner and you become a fucking spoiled brat, thinking that everybody should bow down and appease to you. No, lame nigga. You listened to more people instead of yourself on where to go and how to go. Imagine if I told 𝗧𝗵𝗫, y'all two only are able to ride scooters to school. You only can scoot your booty to school, and that's it. Coming home, scooter. Going to school, scooter. That's it. That's all. Well, some days you may want to walk. Some days you may want to get in the car. Some days you may want to hop on a bike. Some days you may want to get a ride from somebody else, or somebody offered you another ride. Somebody offered you a ride, but you can't take it because somebody said you only can scoot your ass to school. Really? Nah, it don't work like that. Nigga, it don't work like that.
Don't try to
It don't
copy
fit
anyone,
all. It's not supposed
but
to.
rather reflect first on what you really value in life.
Hey, Candy. Dem and
Do
Ace,
you
what up?
value more security or freedom?
Hey, girl.
Are you more competitive or collaborative?
Hey, ladies. Hey.
Are you an explorer? Or do you feel better following a routine schedule and so on?
Huh.
Don't pretend to be someone you're not.
And hey, everybody, you will take the places of all of these. That's the beauty, which they may explain. How you doing, nigga? Don't nigga me. We're going to take the place of all of these. That's the beauty, which they may, talk about, of course, because this is the individuation process. 𝗵𝗫𝗍, you a narc. So you know what a narc smell like. You know what a narc sound like, right? 𝗵𝗫𝗍 is very competitive, per se. So now that she won every damn fucking beauty pageant and hair competition, she won them all. She got all the trophies, all the medals, all the accolades, all the plaques on the wall and shit. She won them all. So now she's thinking from a place of, okay, well, 2 minds are better than 1. 2 minds are better than 1. So let me collaborate with other great hairstylists, makeup artists, fashion designers. And let me, yeah. Because that's going to take us further. And then she's going to explore in that and then have a routine in that and find the people and, she's going to have a team now. Hey, we all going to take the place of all of these different things. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of just being simple, because you allow yourself to take those places. You got to be a narc. I'm telling y'all on the internet, whenever it comes to these music reactions and talking about these narc-ass celebrities, I'm showing y'all the mirror. I'm showing y'all the mirror. Y'all are some narcs who can't believe nothing else without said celebrity saying so. Yeah, I've been having a mind of my own. So let me use that energy to grasp the world, to be more explorers, to collaborate more. Because if Candy and I are in the same business, in my mind, in my team's mind, she has no business competing with me. That's why I tell y'all, all business is personal. Hello? All business is personal. It's personal why I'm letting you go, but it's not personal. It's just business. What? Change the way you see things, so things that you see can change. All business is personal, but trust me, what they say, it's just business. It's not personal. Man, go on, man.
For example, don't try to force yourself to appear to be outgoing when in truth you're an introvert. This will only damage you in the long run. You need to always question yourself, who you really are, what your likes and dislikes are, and who you really want to be in the future. Only after you've been through this introspection would you know what actions to take and how to impose your will on the world, instead of letting the world overwhelm you with its demands.
Oh, yeah.
No matter your age.
Like I was saying yesterday, do not let the world speed you up. Slow down. Take your time. Slow the fuck down.
You should still invest effort in finding your own style, your own voice, your own behavior, and your own way to conduct your life. To live a good life, you need to live a life which represents you. Without knowing what makes you unique, you can't know what kind of activities you should pursue that can help you reach your true potential. Number 2, understand your passions. In the words of Jung, a man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. As one of the founders of psychoanalysis,
You either act on your burning desires, or they burn you out. Woo!
Jung understood how important it is for his patients to have the courage to face the subconscious elements, which are usually repressed desires. For example, sexual desires, or desires to harm somebody else, or a desire for performing an activity that can put you in an embarrassing situation. Only when we have this courage to face them can we heal ourselves from them. When we run away from what upsets us, what makes us uncomfortable or scares us, that thing will come back to haunt us even worse. affecting our behavior and increasing our anxiety. These subconscious elements are usually related to repressed desires or passions. We usually repress them because they're either immoral and unacceptable from society's point of view, or they're too overwhelming and we're not able to cope with them at all. When we have an aloof attitude towards life, when we're passive, reacting slowly to external events, avoiding social contacts, we're usually running away from our passions, or, in other words, from strong emotions which affect our behavior, especially when they're repressed. For example, you might have a passion for communicating with other people. You might have the potential of becoming a great public speaker, but you have a childhood trauma. One adult made fun of you and your way of speaking when you were a child, and this event made you fear opening yourself up to other people and risk being embarrassed again.
Real. Which is why so many Zoomers, they hide behind their phones, they hide behind their computers. Because doing said thing that you just spoke about on the phone is easier. It's more bold to them. But doing that shit in real life, oh man. Doing that shit in real life is hands down some of the most freest shit, some of the most fulfilling shit. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel right now in this moment and drop my nuts. Special.
The best way to heal from such anxieties and discover your real passions again is to practice more journaling, analyze your dreams, get to know yourself better, be more forgiving with yourself, make time for things you really care for, learn to overcome your fears step by step. Looking at the given example, you could take some lessons in public speaking and maybe discover just how talented you are and how unjustified your fear was. Get more in touch with what makes you feel alive and more knowledgeable about the inner workings of your inner passions. Number 3, focus on who you want to be. To quote Jung, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." Although Jung was deeply interested in mythology and even came up with the concept of collective unconscious, which is the part of our unconscious that's common to all human beings, deeply influencing us in many aspects of life without our awareness, he was for a stronger development of our conscious capabilities to decide our own fate. It's also possible that precisely because of knowing how vulnerable we are to the unconscious elements, Jung emphasized on the importance of choosing who we want to become and integrating all the unconscious elements into this identity, even the components of our immature psyche, for example, some attitudes that we picked up in childhood, like a constant desire for love and attention or the fear of abandonment. We need to integrate them over time into a...
Yeah, that is right. That is the yin and yang, that is the pull. Some of the most hardest lovers, some of the most, as they say, hopeless romantics, some of the most hardest lovers who, want to be in a relationship and they aspire to be loved and admired in such a way that they've only dreamt of, right? Stems mostly, not all, mostly from the string of them being strung along. Ain't that some shit? They've been strung along by so many people. They've been given false hope and false promises by so many people. Not just other chicks, other dudes, family. So that string. And then when they get in their adult life, they either take one or two paths. They're either the adult that is just growing old and just saying, fuck it, I'm old now, fuck it. Little shit makes me happy. And once it's done, it's like, oh, well, on to the next, until the next Thanksgiving, until the next Christmas, to the next New Year's, to the next Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever, right? Or you take the path of least resistance, which is, I am going to accelerate my will into creating more of myself, loving more of myself, being kind to myself more, living in abundance, knowing that I am beautiful, I am transparent throughout my journey. Not because you really want somebody to hold on to that, but because that's what you really want to do. That's what you really desire. Because, man, some of the most profound, genius ideas and moments have came from me not looking for them at all. I was never thinking about these things. And when I let it go into the world, into the universe, it comes to me in abundance. Because I'm being kind to myself. I'm giving myself grace. I'm giving myself love. I'm giving myself that wiggle room to grow and just be. You feel me, Diminish? Like, being at a certain age. Who said, going back to what he said, who said that at 18, I have to go to college? I have to move out. Who said at 20, I have to be at a certain financial state, a financial status? Who said? I'm going to move anywhere closer that is bringing me to be more creative, more loving, more kind, places that are more abundant, free of thought. That's why they say food for thought. You chew on it. It's like a raw steak. You just chewing on that bitch. How do you like your steak cooked? Well, you got to go out into the world and ask and see and smell and taste test. You got to go out into the world and see that shit. You can't just watch videos on Cook Network and Food Hood TV and these hood food YouTubers, these food tubers, and think you know what your preference of steak is. Stop that.
Well-functioning whole, which is our individuality. This process of integration Jung called individuation. What defines us is the end goal towards which we aim, this being the well-functioning whole, what we choose to become. Having a goal regarding the person we wish to become is extremely important for the good functioning of our psyche.
See?
If we don't know...
Run that back.
Having the well-functioning whole, what we choose to become. Having a goal regarding the person we wish to become is extremely important for the good functioning of our psyche.
Yeah.
If we don't know who we want to become, how we want to represent ourselves in the face of the world, we'll just go with the flow. One danger in living your life as it comes, without putting your will to work, without putting effort into thinking through when taking important life decisions, is that you might find yourself in a situation that completely copies a traumatic episode from your past.
Oh, might? Shit, he being nice, doing this voiceover. Might? Sure. It 90% will. It 90% will. Shit me.
When we leave our life to the unconscious driver, it leads us back to something unresolved from early times, and it's usually a negative experience that we need to find an answer for. For example, if you come from a dysfunctional family in which you were neglected or perhaps even abused, if you just follow your instincts or your heart in choosing your life partner, You risk ending up in the same type of household, copying the same situation, following your instincts blindly and not using your reason into taking decisions that prevent you from making the best decisions in life and from realizing your potential. The immature element of the psyche in this example is the fear of abandonment, and this fear makes you search for the same pattern of dysfunctionality. To overcome this fear, you need to have a clear vision of where you really want to end up. Make a clear and rational plan on how to get there, and follow through, not giving...
As Jordan Peterson studied a lot of Carl Jung and Freud, of course. I mean, any, psychologist, therapist of any sort, they're going to study these creative thinkers that came before them. So in Jordan Peterson's book, The 12 Steps of Chaos, he mentioned having an aim, setting a goal, having an aim, and shooting for it. And that's not exactly the book. Excuse me. What did I say? It's the 12 rules of life. And it's an antidote to chaos. There we go. That's what. It's an antidote to chaos. And one of them is having a attained goal, aiming for it every time, knowing you can do it, knowing you can achieve it, and just shooting. Keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Of course, you might have to change, your trajectory, change your stance, whatever, but keep shooting. So that's, yeah.
Giving too much attention to your doubts and fears.
Yeah.
Thus, while focusing on who you want to become, you
bro.
integrate the components of your immature psyche into this new personality who isn't afraid anymore. To avoid being a victim of your fears and your past, you need to spend more time with yourself, reflect on your past experiences, think what they can teach you, understand that they don't define you.
Yep.
What defines you is who you want to become.
Yeah.
Then you have to decide who you really want to become and strive in real life to be that person.
That's it. That's it. And that's why most of these niggas be fraud. I ain't give a fuck about lying. Once I learn these nigga fraud, I'm finna burn these nigga, dog. Finna burn you niggas. About to lap niggas so they think they're ahead of me, but I'm really in front of them now. Finna burn you niggas. On your marks. Get set. Go. I'm gone. Burned. Fucking burned. Stun gun. Ray gun. Dummy. Flew past your dumb ass. Why? Because, check this out, y'all. Hey, Zia, check this. What you do in private is what you must do in public. What you do in private is what you must do in public. Real shit. Who are you in private? And who are you showing in public? That's why you're either moving more backwards, you're magnetizing more backwards to your past, to the trauma. You say you want to be healed. What did God say? Say the word and your soul shall be healed. That's what he say. Well, not he, right? But church, pastor. Or are you moving closer to your future? What I'm doing in private, what I'm studying, what I'm reading, how I'm talking to myself, my affirmations, my goals, my attributes, all of that, in private, I'm cooking. And then I'm showing y'all how I cooked it. Because I was recording in private and you see it in public. Like, and it's not edited, not fabricated, none of that. So guess what? I'm just getting my engine running. My engine been running. I'm ready to go. Your stamina is weak. Your stamina is low, nigga.
Number 4. Give up your addictions.
Sure.
Jung teaches us that every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine, or idealism. Addiction is a serious problem affecting people.
Because I told y'all, let me stop saying that. I told y'all, stop saying that. Mental masturbation is a deep thing. I should make, that's probably not for YouTube. Who knows? I'll probably do for both. I do more in depth on Patreon and, on YouTube. But mental masturbation is chronic. It's chronic. Because I'm telling other people how I'm going to do this, that, and the third. Guess what gets done? Because after you jerk it into a sock, jerk it into a towel, you're lazy. You don't want to do nothing now. So that mental masturbation, or mental and verbal, or you go mental or verbal masturbation, is cancerous. Of course, to the mind, but to your dreams, to your visions, to your deep down aspirations. When all it takes is for you to get up and do this for 1 hour, 30 minutes a day. Start with that. Start with 20 minutes, start with 30, and then work your way up. But you need to learn how to focus. So, you telling other people ideas that you have in the works, and you're only hyping yourself up. You're not hyping them up. You're only hyping yourself up. So once you get away from that idea or you forget about it, it doesn't get done.
On many levels, including the biological, social, psychological, and even spiritual levels. Jung encountered many types of patients suffering from addiction. However, he saw some similarities between people with real addictions like alcohol, some compulsory gestures and so on, and people suffering from idealism. We sometimes become fixated on some ideal views over life, avoiding seeing that reality is completely different than that rosy picture. We just try to find ways to escape facing the real problems of life, of what really hurts us, because we don't feel capable of facing those issues. That's why we find refuge in drugs, alcohol, and idealism. To maintain our healthy psyche, we need to be in touch with reality, not avoid it. If you don't like that you're overweight and unsuccessful in life, don't waste your days with narcotics, drugs, alcohol, or idealism, but rather have the courage to face reality, make a plan to change the situation, apply more aggressively to jobs, and consistently follow a workout routine.
Yeah.
If you continue to spend your days partially unconscious or stuck in some damaging idealism, you can't get in touch with your real self. You can't think of any solution of how to get unstuck from the situation you're in and start developing a plan to change your life into a life which better reflects yourself and gives you the chance to realize your potential.
Because you are too busy putting in these temporary placeholders, as we call them, placeholders, to alleviate, to run away, to sprint, to hide, to curl up, to fade away from,
Number 5, be honest about your capabilities. Jung considers that you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. As a psychoanalyst, Jung always saw through his patients, no matter what they pretended to be. We are almost never who we pretend to be. What we do speaks for oneself much louder than anything we communicate verbally. The process of individuation which Jung wrote about implies aligning your actions with your ideal about yourself. We're born with a self which needs a lifetime to be brought to a full realization. At the beginning of life, we're not even sure who we want to be. Jung considered that the first stage of life is dedicated to both ego development and personal development, the image we show to the world. However, we need the second stage as well, the stage when we should reach a full integration of ourselves. In the first stage, you're not even sure who you truly are, so you just experiment with different ways of living. Once you reach about 40, the second stage begins, and
40.
you should get a much clearer idea of who you really want to be, and so you should align all of your actions with that image of yourself. Even before this stage, it's always good practice to keep your word and have a realistic view over your time limits and skills, and this view should be formed according to your past experiences. If every time you studied for an exam just the night before, and you
Right.
always got a lousy mark,
Right.
maybe you shouldn't do that next time if you want better marks.
Hello.
In the same way, if your boss asked you if you could do this task by tomorrow, don't rush to say yes, especially if you know that you're really not that strong in that area, and it would be very likely that you'll need the help of another colleague, and that it will take you much longer than a well-practiced expert. If you fail in delivering your promises repeatedly, people will stop trusting you and your words won't mean anything to them anymore. It's okay at the beginning of life to overpromise and push your limits to accomplish certain things, but there will be a time in your life when you need to draw some conclusions regarding your limits, and you need to align your promises according to those conclusions. In our journey to reach our potential, it's important to face our limits, which can be considered as good indicators to turn around and do other projects instead. It's always better to be honest with yourself first and with others regarding your capabilities. It can help you enormously to find the most appropriate path for you to achieve your potential. The more honest you are regarding what you can do and what you can't, the faster you can find those activities which you can excel at with minimum effort, and the faster you can find your way to achieve your potential. Number 6. Make strengths from your weaknesses.
Hello.
Jung stated, "I regret many follies which sprang from my obstinacy, but without that trait I would not have reached my goal." In his book, Memories, Dream, Reflections, Jung reflected on his life and how different it could have been if he himself was different. He considered himself being too obstinate, stubborn, but at the same time he acknowledged that without his stubbornness, he would not have reached such successes in his life as he did.
I think every successful person does that with their journey. Every successful person does that with their journey. Ponders on that question. Well, like when I was watching Gary Vee for a very long time, a well-endowed New York man who has multiple businesses, embodies the complete definition of an entrepreneur, and when he was always asked that question on what is it that you regret, or what is it that you would do if you had a chance to go back into your 20-year young or 30-year young self, what would you do? What would you say to him? And he always says, every interview, every question, he says, I would always tell him, bro, go have some fun. Go have some fucking fun. Go enjoy your life. Drink a couple beers. Go to a party. 1 or 2. He didn't do none of that. So he says. He didn't do none of that. None. Not one party. He was just working. Business, entrepreneurship, video, editing, intern, he was just strictly focused with jobs. So what Carl is saying about his stubbornness, I mean, yeah. Also, what if Carl Jung was 6'10"? Would he even be a philosopher? Would he even be a psychiatrist? Exactly. So, play those games at your own discretion.
In some ways, any weakness can prove to be a strength if
Right.
it's explored in the right direction.
Right. That's it.
Perhaps outside the professional world, Jung's obstinacy was wrongly placed. But in professional life, this proved to be the best tool to achieve success.
Yeah, because he was doing nothing.
As long as you are going through the individuation process, your life would be for you as it should be. Jung believed that we all have a kind of destiny which is strongly tied to our personality, and we should just follow it wherever it takes us. The most important thing is to live in harmony with ourself, that is, in a continuous process of realization. Don't criticize yourself for your weaknesses, but rather think how they can help you in certain areas of your life. Make a list of all the things you're criticized for and of how you can use these bad traits in a useful way and avoid using them where you shouldn't. For example, let's say you're a very sensitive person, living more in your imagination,
Yeah.
and others used to criticize you for your lack of practical skills, that you don't even know how to fix a common problem in your household. Instead of fighting with yourself, trying to prove others wrong and focusing on upgrading your practical skills, you should turn your focus to your creative side, towards your imagination. Perhaps you can discover that there's a great artist living inside you who just needs the right tools to come out. Perhaps you could be a great painter, a musician, or a great writer. It's much better to work around your skills and make sure they're directed in the right way than to focus on fixing your weaknesses. Number 7. Find a connection.
Let's say that one more time.
Around your skills and make sure they're directed in the right way than to focus on fixing your weaknesses. Number 7.
Okay.
Find a connection to the infinite. As
Yeah.
we learn from Jung,
Inspiration.
the decisive question for man is he related to something infinite or not? That is the telling question of his life. Although Jung liked to be viewed as a man of science, his work has deep metaphysical implications. This is due to the fact that he could see many of people's problems could be solved if they were able to add a metaphysical dimension to their life. It can be religion or another type of spirituality. When our life is understood in the context of something bigger than ourselves, our life gets more meaning and we start to feel more secure and happier, stronger to tackle life's problems. Even if you're not religious or particularly more meaning, and we start to feel more secure and happier, stronger to tackle life's problems. Even if you're not religious or particularly spiritual, it's recommended by Jung to link your existence to something infinite. Perhaps you could think about the universe and how everything is connected, coming from the same source, including every human being that has and will ever exist. The effort you put into your work, the kindness you show to humans around you, can be reinforced by the thought that you're part of this human species and your life matters. You're one of the millions of forms through which our species evolved and continues to expand. Looking at all the amazing advancements of human civilizations can leave us amazed and fascinated, and we can feel grateful that we're part of this human civilization. Some people can see the infinite in their faith, in God. Some in the mysteries of the universe. Some can see the infinite in their children, our successors who will continue to expand human civilization. The infinite can be described as anything which gives you a meaning beyond your time-limited existence. Your connection to this infinite can boost your desire to want to reach your potential here on Earth and give your contribution to human society, whatever your primary reason might be, whether that's religious, spiritual, or otherwise. Number 8. Make time
I like
for
that one.
deep reflections.
Gotta do that. Gotta
In
do
our
that.
final quote from
Gotta
Jung
do
for
that.
this video, he says, "You must be alone to find out what supports you when you find that you cannot support yourself."
Ooh.
Jung has personally seen solitude as one of the best ways to heal oneself,
Hell
and
yeah.
he even said that solitude makes life worth living.
Hell yeah.
To find happiness and realize our potential, We need to live in harmony with our inner demands.
Because it's interesting how, I mean, it could work. I'm not saying that it can't. It could work in the adverse effect. The more people you hang around, the more people you hang around is the more you realize that you need to be, or you should be alone more. And the more alone you were, not lonely, the more alone you were in your upbringing is the more you realize how much you should be around others for that contribution, for that human interaction, you know? Two minds being better than one. Collaborating ideas, collaborating minds, collaborating perspectives so we can build higher heights instead of making lower lows. Yeah?
Solitude is the best occasion to discover what our inner demands are.
Yeah.
This is especially true when you face difficulties in life and feel helpless. You should go into solitude to reflect on what can give you meaning in life, what can support you emotionally, and what steps you should take next to realize your true potential. Maybe a stroll by the lake can make you understand that life's beauty doesn't rely on how many bucks you have in your wallet or how many titles you hold, but on the happiness and the state of peace you feel when you have most of your affairs in order. That you perform in life those activities which make you feel happy and fulfilled, helping you realize your potential. Think of what activities make you happy. Don't hold back. Imagine money was no object.
And do that more.
What truly makes you happy? Identify that, and you're now free to stop and think, to find ways to focus your energy on those activities which help you realize your potential. Realizing your potential is a journey, and solitude can provide moments of reflection that can help you assess how far you are on this journey and what you should do to advance more. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out the full Philosophies for Life playlist.
Video!
Videos to help you find success and happiness using ancient philosophical wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you, 𝗀𝗏.